welcome to the Business Standard Show. To start with, sir, what is the role of Switch in Ashok Leyland's shift towards electric vehicles?
Yeah, absolutely, Shane. I think firstly, Switch is positioned as a global company. We are headquartered in UK, and we have offices in, let's say, Chennai. Now we have in Spain and other locations. The intent of Switch in the global is Switch as a vision of democratizing zero carbon mobility. So our intention is to bring globally people to public transport in electric mobility. And these two areas, we will do it both on passenger as well as in the goods segment. So we have taken two sectors, which is the bus segment, and we have also taken the light commercial vehicle up to 7.5 ton. And then we said Switch will focus on electrification across the globe. So we are looking at UK, we are looking at Spain, we are looking at Middle East, we are looking at Southeast Asia, India, Africa, and other countries where we want to participate in these two segments and scale it up globally. So this is the main intention, and Switch being a subsidiary of Ashok Leyland will have a lot of synergies and support from the company, from the platform, from the buying powers and the asset of manufacturing channel and many more. So that is the big advantage for us while we are a startup, like just 18 to 20 months old. But we have leveraged Ashok Leyland's what I would say asset significantly in the past 2 years, and then we are trying to get the maximum asset utilization to get the best products to our customers.
How many buses did you supply in the Indian market so far, and how do you see the growth potential?
We had about 100 buses at the start of the year supplied in the past 4 years, but 2013 till now. We have been working. There are two portions to it. One is the India portion, and the other is the UK portion. You all know that we have about 100 electric buses running in London. In India, we actually kicked off 1 year back. Last October is the formation of Switch India, and then we have started. So when we made Switch India, we had about 65 buses on road, and we were delivering the first 40 last financial year. So we were about 105 buses on road. Now we have about 600 plus orders this year. So we are kind of last year delivery of 60 buses to 600 buses is the journey we are taking. It's a very substantial task, and we have the team is working hard to get to that level of growth in this financial year.
When we look at the numbers, actually Switch Mobility sold 39% of the total buses sold in the month of September. So it's a huge positive sign for the company, isn't it? And also the sector itself has grown by 150% in terms of sales of electric vehicles, buses. So, and the rapid increase in the sales of electric buses, and at the same time, Switch Mobility leading from the front in the month of September, that's a good sign for the company, isn't it?
Absolutely, Shine. If you look at last year to this year, our prediction was the market will double electric bus segment. And next year we were expecting it to triple, depending upon what the CESL order and others which are going forward in electric mobility. I'm happy that this year it is actually more than double the numbers are going. I'm very happy in last month in September, Switch had a substantial delivery because of the BMTC, which we are delivering right now, and many more buses in the pipeline. So I'm very happy to see that we are able to contribute to the electric mobility transition in India.
How are you seeing the upcoming tenders by the government, mega tenders and all that the government had announced? So how are you looking at it?
I think firstly, we have to give credit to the government of India and CESL for coming up with some fantastic futuristic tenders. I think India has committed toward net zero by 2070. There is a lot of work happening in this decade up to 2030 on electrification and solar and many renewable energy action, both in mobility and energy. I think that is putting a lot of industry investments and actions towards sustainable mobility, which is the vision of Switch as well. So we are able to closely work, and I appreciate CESL taking the next tender, which is a draft is almost out for another 5,400 buses. So, and this is just a start. I believe that every year we have a potential to adapt and do about 5 to 10,000 buses going forward. That is a very, very tall order. And I would say that many developed countries, including Germany, last year have sold only 500 electric buses, but India have registered more than 1,000. And this year it's going to be much more than 2,000 buses in the market.
When you look at Switch, there are two sides to it. One is the Indian growth roadmap and the global expansion. How this global expansion will be paced? What will be the strategy going ahead, especially with the current sort of crisis that the international markets are seeing?
India is doing extremely well in the turbulent situation globally. Europe has an energy crisis. There is a war heading towards it. And UK had a leadership change, and we are seeing a lot of flip-flopping of the policies. So, but I believe it will get stabilized because if you look at Switch, we are in UK. We have said we'll be in Europe through Spain. We are looking at African countries. We are looking at Middle East. We are looking at Southeast Asia. In fact, we have sent a bus to Japan to explore possibilities there, and we are talking about Australia. So we are going to be present on a long term globally. Now, having said that, each country and each region will have challenges at multiple point of time. So we'll have to work around it and take specific action related to what's happening in geopolitics and scale up or scale down the business plan accordingly. But on a long term, we believe that the markets will come back after the turbulent times are over.
Coming to another side of it, what will be your strategy regarding light commercial vehicles? When will be the launch? When can we see the first launch? What will be the strategy in this regard?
See, we said that we will be there in the next financial with the light commercial vehicle. That strategy is intact. We are working hard to get the products out. Our strategy is to be below 7.5 ton on electrification, which we believe is the first one to adapt in mass scale, both in India. And we are also working out a strategy how we'll participate in global scale. So that work is going on. Since there are too much traction in bus right now in India on electrification, so we don't want to lose this. As you have seen, we have been leading this segment and also participating this segment in from this financial year. So we don't want to lose the momentum. So we want to make sure that the bus segment is actively participated. Enough products, variants are there. Like we have launched India's first electric double-decker EV 22. LCV entry will be in the next financial year.
Also, you were in talks with financial investors for raising funds. How much are you going to raise? What is the status of that?
Since the market in India and the EV is futuristic, I don't see any issue in financing either from the group or we are getting a strategic partner who will come and work with us for scaling up the business globally. So we are working with partners who will invest on it, and it is as per the plan. If everything goes well before end of the financial year, we will have all the partners in place. So we talked about totally about 250 to $300 million between Switch and OHM, and the plan is that, and we are working around it.
You mentioned about OHM. So what is the role of OHM Global Mobility in Switch scheme of things? The operational side they will look into, but can you explain it a little bit?
Design, as you know, India is running mostly GCC model, which is cost contract model for our buses. Now, as a OEM, Switch is a manufacturer and distributor and channel partner for electric bus and LCV. We need a company which will capitalize these buses and run on pay per kilometer basis. EMAS is the services which they do. We are looking at battery as service, vehicle as service. We are looking at multiple options around it. So OHM Mobility, which is such a concern of Switch Mobility, will be the one which will operate this. They will focus on offering multiple services to our customers like battery as service, vehicle as service, and mobility as service, and various options. They will run the operations, do charging. They will scale up on renewable energy. For example, in Bangalore, we are looking at almost targeting to achieve 80% of renewable energy for charging of the buses. So they are working around net zero on their operations as well, while Switch will look at net zero on manufacturing, supply chain. OHM will look at all that. So each will complement each other in the current scenario, what we are having in the bus segment, particularly in the GCC contract.
Overall, how do you see the pace of transition to EVs? As we mentioned, there is a 150% increase in September compared to the same time last year. How do you see this transition, the pace of the transition, and do you think the global crisis will have any sort of impact on this?
And actually, we had a very turbulent year in the last, I would say, 12 to 18 months. Raw material went up, the fuel prices have gone up, interest rates are going up. What is good is India is the only country which is not taken away the path of electrification or any other initiative taken by spending on capital expenditure, either it is infrastructure, roads, or even industry investment. So right now, I'm happy that India is in the path of growth, and particularly in sustainable mobility. Even in COP26, we have committed about net zero by 2070. So far, so good. We are able to take care of the growth rate of the country in GDP as well as challenges. So while we say that, I think the challenges are going to be immense. You are seeing depreciation of rupee. We are looking at increase in raw material prices, supply chain challenges. I think the best learning all the auto industry had is in the last 18 months, and we have learned a lot. We know the good thing is we have a team and people who can handle it and come out of it very well. So we are well prepared as a country, as an industry, as Switch Mobility, better than what we were, let's say, 20 months back. And that's the good news.
Are we out of the supply side bottlenecks and also the chip crisis?
I would say, Shine, the situation has improved. If you ask me, are we out? I would say that we have learned to handle it well. There are many more turbulences where the war is not yet over and there are some geopolitical positioning happening. This is going to be not a one-time affair. I think we need to understand and try to handle the situation. So we are preparing for it to handle it without affecting our numbers year on year and quarter on quarter.
How do you see the growth? Is there any strategy that you have laid that by 2025 we will have to be get this much share of the market? What is your growth strategy regarding the company?
I think Shine, if you look at it, Ashok Leyland, our parent company, is one of the market leaders in the market. So our intention is to be in the top 3 in India, and we want to be participating in multiple markets in the globe. And we are, as we speak, the strategies are being adapted in such a way that we are able to serve the customers globally in terms of electrification in both buses and light commercial vehicle segment. So we'll continue to do that. Our intention is to, as I said, achieve net zero in many of the operations and to democratize zero carbon mobility across the countries, and we'll continue to do that. And India, I believe, will be a leading market compared to the globe, what it is today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Have a good day.
Thank you.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.